The Rottweiler carries instincts shaped long before the modern world existed, instincts sharpened by centuries of guarding, driving, and silent watching. Those instincts don't disappear in a family home, they simply wait for the moment they're needed. Its power isn't just in muscle or size, but in the way it observes everything with a calm, calculating focus. The Rottweiler notices shifts in body language long before words ever leave your mouth. Many owners underestimate how deeply this breed studies the environment. It reads intention the way other dogs read movement. When a Rottweiler walks into a room, it isn't seeking attention, it's gathering information. It decides who belongs, who doesn't, and what energy fills the space. This instinctive awareness can be beautiful when guided well. But when left unmanaged, it becomes overwhelming for owners who expected a simple companion. The Rottweiler bonds intensely with the person who shows the clearest direction. It respects steadiness more than affection. Lack of consistency creates uncertainty, and uncertainty awakens instincts that new owners weren't prepared for. A powerful dog without clear leadership becomes a dog that leads itself. What most people don't realize is that the Rottweiler's confidence depends on yours. If your energy falters, the dog steps forward. This shift is subtle at first, a stance, a gaze, a moment of hesitation. But to the Rottweiler, these signals speak louder than commands. A Rottweiler doesn't challenge you loudly. It challenges you logically, waiting to see if you remain the calm center it needs. The instinct problem begins when owners mistake affection for authority. Love strengthens the bond, but structure strengthens the trust behind it. When a Rottweiler senses instability, it doesn't panic. It plans. Its mind begins solving problems it believes you cannot. And once a dog like this starts making decisions on your behalf, the dynamic is forever changed. Handlers who understand this breed never rush into corrections. They communicate through presence, clarity, and intention. The Rottweiler's natural instinct is to protect, but without direction, that protection becomes unpredictable. It is loyal, but loyalty without guidance becomes pressure. This breed doesn't want to control you, it wants to stabilize what feels unbalanced. When the home energy shifts, the dog adjusts instantly. A calm Rottweiler is a reflection of a calm household. A tense Rottweiler is a mirror of tension it didn't create but feels responsible to resolve. Most owners don't notice these changes until the behavior is already strong. By then, instinct has taken root where leadership should have been. The Rottweiler's sensitivity surprises people who only see its physical power. It reacts to tone faster than to touch. Even a quiet moment of frustration tells the dog everything it needs to know. It reads emotional signals like a second language. This emotional intelligence is what makes the breed incredible with the right guidance. But it's also what makes it overwhelming for someone unprepared. The Rottweiler is not a blank slate. It arrives with purpose embedded in its nature. The earliest signs of instinct are small and easy to miss. Standing slightly ahead of you during walks, watching strangers before you notice them, guarding objects it finds meaningful. These aren't dominance displays, they're instinctual responses. They're patterns the dog believes will help you. Many owners mislabel these behaviors as stubbornness. In reality, the dog is simply filling a role that doesn't feel filled. A Rottweiler shouldn't lead the home, but it won't hesitate to do so if it senses a vacuum. Leadership isn't a demand, it's an invitation the dog accepts when no one else steps forward. This instinct can feel comforting when things are calm. But in moments of stress, it can ignite situations the owner isn't ready for. When a Rottweiler decides to take control, it does so silently. No growls, no barks, just a shift in posture that signals responsibility. This is the moment experienced handlers recognize instantly. It's the point where instinct outweighs training. Correction without understanding only deepens the divide. The Rottweiler responds to balance, not force. Owners who succeed with this breed don't overpower the dog, they align with it. They show steadiness in every interaction. The Rottweiler's loyalty is unmatched when the foundation is clear. But loyalty built on confusion becomes tension. This breed thrives on purpose, even small daily tasks. Structure gives the mind rest. Without purpose, its instincts stay active too long. A restless Rottweiler becomes a reactive one. Its intelligence can overwhelm anyone who expects a simple pet. It thinks, anticipates, and responds to patterns you don't even notice. This depth is why the breed excels in service and protection roles. It is a dog built to understand more than commands. Rottweilers don't forget emotional experiences. They carry your moods with them. A moment of anger leaves a mark they will remember the next time tension rises. They replay emotions the way others replay scents. Most people underestimate how easily this bond can shift. The Rottweiler doesn't just love, it absorbs. Once instinct and emotion blend, guidance becomes difficult without patience. And patience is the one thing many new owners lack. The instinct problem isn't just a behavior issue. It's a relationship imbalance. The Rottweiler waits for direction, and when it doesn't receive it, instinct fills the silence. Silence to the owner feels harmless, but to the dog, it feels like responsibility. At this point, a Rottweiler becomes hyper-aware of spaces, sounds, and unfamiliar faces. It becomes the guardian it was bred to be. A seasoned handler sees this as readiness. A new owner sees it as misbehavior. The truth is neither, it's instinct stepping into the role it believes is required. But instinct doesn't always choose the safest approach. This creates misunderstandings that escalate quickly. A dog meant to protect becomes a dog that overprotects. The Rottweiler doesn't want to make mistakes. It wants clarity. Owners often mistake pushback for aggression. But pushback is simply the dog asking for direction. This breed isn't trying to dominate your home. It's trying to make sense of it. When the environment feels unpredictable, the Rottweiler tries to stabilize it. This makes it look assertive, even when its goal is balance. A confident owner becomes an anchor for this dog. Without that anchor, instinct floats freely. And a free instinct becomes a heavy instinct over time. The Rottweiler needs boundaries, not restrictions. Clear boundaries allow the dog to relax. Relaxation is rare in a Rottweiler that feels responsible for too much. People think Rottweilers are naturally intense, they are naturally aware. The Rottweiler wants to trust the leadership in front of it. If that trust is strong, the dog becomes calm. If that trust is uncertain, the dog becomes alert. And if that trust is broken, the dog becomes reactive. Instinct doesn't fade with training alone. Training sharpens responses, but leadership shapes the mind behind them. A Rottweiler that respects its owner moves differently. It carries confidence without tension. But a Rottweiler that questions its owner's steadiness carries weight in every step. That weight becomes visible in ways people misinterpret. The Rottweiler's greatest strength is its ability to sense what others ignore. But when that gift takes the lead, problems grow quickly. Instinct can either be the dog's greatest asset or the owner's greatest challenge. The dividing line is guidance. This is the truth most owners learn too late. The Rottweiler doesn't wait for you to become the leader. It tests whether you already are. And if you're not, instinct fills the void. When instinct fills the void, the breed becomes reactive instead of responsive. It listens for threats instead of direction. The longer this continues, the harder the relationship becomes to rebalance. But with consistency, the Rottweiler will always find its way back to trust. Every day with this breed is a conversation without words. Your posture, tone, and presence speak louder than commands. And the Rottweiler listens to all of it. Even the parts you don't realize you're saying. Understanding this instinct is the key to everything that follows. Without that understanding, the dog moves ahead of you. With it, the dog walks at your side. And that is where the Rottweiler truly belongs. A Rottweiler thrives when the world around it feels predictable and steady. It relaxes into the rhythm of a home where boundaries are clear and decisions feel consistent. When that rhythm breaks, the dog's instincts sharpen immediately. It begins studying each moment to determine what needs correcting or controlling. This is not defiance, it's responsibility. The Rottweiler steps into roles it believes have been left unattended. Many owners believe firmness is the solution to this shift. But firmness without clarity feels like conflict to a Rottweiler. It responds not to volume, but to certainty. A calm presence reaches it faster than a raised voice ever could. The Rottweiler respects strength, but that strength must be quiet. Loudness confuses a dog that was bred to move silently. When people mistake calm authority for weakness, the dog becomes unsettled. When they replace calmness with force, the dog loses trust. Trust is the currency that fuels every relationship with this breed. Once fractured, it takes consistency to rebuild. But when trust is strong, the Rottweiler becomes gentle in ways its appearance never suggests. Its power softens when the bond is clear. The instinct problem grows when owners treat this breed like a typical companion. The Rottweiler doesn't operate on affection alone. Affection warms the bond, but structure strengthens it. The two must work together. This dog doesn't want chaos in its world. It wants alignment, order, and purpose. Purpose keeps its instincts pointed in the right direction. Without it, those instincts aim at everything. People often assume overprotectiveness is the breed's nature. In reality, overprotectiveness comes from uncertainty. A Rottweiler unsure of the home's boundaries acts first and thinks later. It tries to control rather than follow. Owners who understand this redirect the dog with steadiness. They guide instead of reacting emotionally. A Rottweiler studies what you allow and what you tolerate. It interprets both as instructions. And once it believes it understands the rules, it enforces them with absolute commitment. This can become overwhelming when the rules were never clear to begin with. The instinct problem appears strongest in moments of tension. Arguments, stress, and rushed energy awaken the dog's need to intervene. A Rottweiler doesn't simply witness conflict, it feels responsible for resolving it. Its body reacts before its mind processes the situation fully. Handlers who know this breed well create calm environments. They teach the dog that not every rise in emotion requires action. It's a reminder that instinct isn't the enemy, miscommunication is. The Rottweiler wants direction, not dominance. Dominance theory fails with this breed because it misunderstands its heart. The Rottweiler follows strength that feels stable, not force that feels chaotic. Its loyalty grows where leadership feels safe. Safety to this dog is certainty, not intimidation. A Rottweiler doesn't hold grudges, but it remembers patterns. It watches what behaviors bring consistency and what behaviors bring confusion. It will repeat the patterns that feel secure. And it avoids those that lead to conflict. This is why alignment matters more than commands. A Rottweiler responds to the energy behind the words. When owners say one thing and feel another, the dog listens to the feeling. It trusts instinct because instinct has never failed it. This creates tension for owners who rely only on obedience. Obedience without emotional steadiness doesn't hold this breed long term. It is not a robotic follower, it is an intelligent partner. And intelligent partners question inconsistency. When a Rottweiler senses conflict between your words and your posture, it pauses. That pause is a test of your clarity. If clarity is missing, instinct takes the lead. The dog steps back into an ancient role it knows better than you do. This is the moment most owners never see coming. The shift is almost invisible until behavior intensifies. A Rottweiler under instinctual pressure becomes overly alert. Its body stiffens and its gaze sharpens. It watches doorways, hallways, and people with renewed responsibility. It moves between family members quietly, choosing positions of control. These actions aren't aggression, they're burden. The dog is carrying weight that doesn't belong to it. Weight becomes danger when the dog feels alone in its responsibility. No breed, no matter how intelligent, should manage a household alone. The Rottweiler wants to step back, but it cannot without guidance. It needs reassurance that leadership hasn't disappeared. Once reassured, the dog softens with visible relief. It walks beside you again instead of ahead. This return to balance is the true beauty of the breed. Its loyalty recalibrates instantly when trust returns. But that trust requires honesty from the owner. You cannot fake confidence with a Rottweiler. It senses tension behind the mask. It reads hesitation in the smallest movements. This perception is what makes the breed a phenomenal guardian. But it also makes it emotionally demanding. The instinct problem is most dangerous when owners ignore early signs. A Rottweiler never changes overnight, it responds to accumulated moments. Moments of instability tell the dog to protect. Moments of steadiness tell the dog to follow. This is why self-awareness is part of owning this breed. The dog learns your patterns faster than you learn its. When owners adapt, the Rottweiler becomes effortless to live with. It relaxes into the role of companion rather than guardian. A relaxed Rottweiler is gentle, affectionate, and surprisingly sensitive. Its power feels peaceful rather than intense. But a Rottweiler forced into leadership becomes rigid. Its energy shifts into constant readiness. Readiness is exhausting for a dog that was meant to follow confident guidance. It becomes physically strong but emotionally tired. You can see this exhaustion in the way it rests lightly. Its sleep becomes shallow and alert. A Rottweiler at peace sleeps deeply. Its body unwinds without tension. Peace comes from boundaries built with consistency. Rules that feel fair and predictable create safety. When safety exists, instincts rest. The dog no longer needs to read every sound. People often mistake this calmness for the dog aging or maturing. In truth, it is the dog finally feeling supported. Support transforms the breed. It softens the eyes and loosens the muscles. This softness is the Rottweiler most owners dream of. But they don't realize it comes from leadership, not luck. Once a Rottweiler trusts fully, it becomes vulnerable. It leans against you, seeks your presence, and rests near your feet. This vulnerability is the highest form of connection the breed offers. It is the reward for clarity and stability. Owners who reach this level understand the breed deeply. They appreciate that the dog's instincts are not obstacles, they are gifts that require guidance. Guidance turns power into partnership. It turns intensity into devotion. A Rottweiler guided well becomes protective without being reactive. It becomes confident without being dominant. Dominance is rarely the issue in this breed. Confusion is far more dangerous. Confusion leads to reactive behavior, frustration, and mistrust. The dog becomes trapped between instinct and instruction. Owners who correct confusion with punishment worsen the imbalance. The Rottweiler interprets harshness as instability. Instability deepens the instinct problem. The dog steps further into control. The path back requires patience. Gentle repetition rebuilds the relationship. Rebuilding doesn't mean surrendering authority. It means reinstating clarity. Clarity tells the dog what belongs to you and what belongs to it. Responsibilities become organized again. A Rottweiler relieved of unnecessary responsibility becomes joyful. Its movements become loose and playful. Playfulness is the sign of a secure Rottweiler. Security is the antidote to instinct-driven behavior. This is why experienced handlers respect the breed so deeply. They understand the emotional complexity beneath the physical strength. A Rottweiler doesn't just guard homes, it guards bonds. It protects the relationship as fiercely as it protects territory. When that relationship is strong, instinct becomes an ally. When that relationship is weak, instinct becomes a burden. Most owners discover this far too late. They see the problems without understanding the roots. The roots are ancient. They are woven into the dog's history. A Rottweiler without structure becomes a guardian without guidance. A Rottweiler with structure becomes a companion with purpose. Purpose brings out the breed's brilliance. It channels instinct into intelligence. This is the version of the Rottweiler the world admires: disciplined, loyal, balanced. But achieving it requires commitment. Commitment means showing up calmly even when life feels chaotic. It means being consistent even on difficult days. Consistency builds confidence in the dog. Confidence keeps instinct in harmony with training. Harmony is the true goal of owning a Rottweiler. When instinct and direction align, the breed becomes extraordinary. Extraordinary in its gentleness. Extraordinary in its loyalty. Extraordinary in its ability to read a room without overreacting. Extraordinary in its devotion to the family it trusts. This is the Rottweiler many owners meet only after years of learning. But those who understand sooner experience it sooner. Understanding begins with acknowledging that instinct is not the enemy. It is the blueprint that shapes the dog's behavior. Respecting that blueprint changes everything. It turns challenges into opportunities. Opportunities become progress. Progress becomes connection. And connection becomes the foundation of a lifelong bond that feels unbreakable. A bond built on clarity, respect, and shared steadiness. The Rottweiler does not ask for perfection. It asks for presence. Presence tells the dog it doesn't have to lead. It tells the dog it can rely on you. When a Rottweiler relies on you fully, instinct quiets. In that quiet, the true heart of the breed emerges. The heart that watches you with devotion deeper than its reputation. The heart that follows you even when the world feels uncertain. This is the truth most owners learn too late. The Rottweiler is not defined by its strength, it is defined by its need for guidance. Guidance that transforms instinct into partnership. Guidance that reveals the dog's true nature. And guidance that allows one of the world's most powerful breeds to finally feel safe enough to simply be at peace.